Now, it's the start of September, and you know what that means. It means that if you haven't yet filed your returns for the previous financial year, I'm talking about your tax returns, then you should go out and do that. And there are a lot of questions that are arising this time around. In fact, that's probably the reason why the government decided to push the deadline till the 15th of September. And joining me in studio to talk about some of the queries that have arisen and to give you clarity, I'm joined by CA Abhishek Mehta. Thanks so much, Abhishek, as always, for taking the time. And, you know, we've actually crowdsourced a few questions, and let's run through the list. Firstly, and this is a pretty common question, do I need to report rental income from a second house even if it is vacant? If I remember correctly, this was actually clarified in the previous budget, right?
Yes, yes.
What does it say?
So now what has happened after the financial year 1920, if you have, earlier it was that if you have one house, you can only have one self-occupied property, right. And any other houses, even if they are vacant, you have to pay rent
deemed
on
rent.
that. It will be considered as a deemed rent and you have to pay income tax.
Yeah.
After financial year 1920, because COVID came and a lot of people had two houses, they were working in Mumbai but staying in Pune, government changed this and said you can have two self-occupied properties. Any other property which you have apart from these two, even if it's not put on rent, we will calculate a deemed rent on that and you have to pay income tax on that property. So that has been changed from 1920. What people used to do is a lot of time take cash in terms of rent and not show them as, you know, rental income. But now that is not the case. You can only have maximum two properties as a self-occupied property.
So as it stands, that's how it is. And how is this deemed rent calculated?
So it is mostly whatever your area rent is there. So because income tax gets all the rent agreements as well from the registrar, you have to actually calculate whatever the rent is going on in that place and then pay the tax on that. If you don't do that, income tax will probably do it their own calculation.
19-20 का फर्क रहेगा तो?
That is still okay. They consider that, but there cannot be a 10-20 difference in terms of rent calculation.
Okay, so that's the houses out of the way, right?
Yes.
If you have pension income, is it taxed differently from a salary income?
No. So pension income and family pension, both are taxed as salaried income only. The only difference between both is that if you have a pension income, you can claim standard deduction of 75,000 as per the new regime and 50,000 as per the old regime. But in terms of family pension, you cannot claim a standard deduction.
So for those who are unfamiliar with the concept, family pension is essentially what is earned by the survivor, right?
Yes, yes. So a lot of times in government jobs, what happens if the husband is no more, the wife still gets pension. So in that cases, you will get the pension, you'll have to include it in a salary income, but you cannot claim standard deduction in terms of 75,000 in the new regime.
Okay, but then what if you have income as a survivor?
Yes.
You have income and you also receiving family pension. That's a possibility.
Yes.
So therefore, how do you then on your income you can claim 75,000?
Yes, if you have a salary income.
Sure.
If I have a salary income, I'll claim 75,000 as standard deduction plus include my family pension in that
But even
income.
normal income?
In normal income, standard deduction, the 75,000 is only for salaried.
Only
class.
for salary. There you go. So another clarification out there.
Yeah.
Where do I show scholarship income or stipends from internships?
So if scholarship income is mostly from like university, trust and schools, then those are exempt. But if you get a scholarship income, suppose you are doing a fellowship during your PhD and all, so you have to include that in your salary. Or probably if you have got some scholarship income while you are doing an employment, lot of time like in finance, people give some money to do their CFA courses or a CFP courses, then that will be added as a perquisite. And if there is anything third person who is giving you a scholarship, suppose I am just giving a scholarship to a friend of mine, then it will be included in a income from other sources.
Okay, this is an interesting one because of course this emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of people earning as online content creators,
yes.
right? So influencers, brands often pay you either in kind or monetarily, right? So how do you account for that and how do you disclose that and how do you pay tax?
So this is mostly your business income.
Right.
It will be considered as a pure business income. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that if your turnover is more than 20 lakhs, in this case, where people, most of them are getting notices, is if somebody has a turnover of more than 20 lakhs, they should be GST registered. If you are not GST registered, what will happen after 2-3 years, the GST department will take up this matter and make you pay 18% GST on this amount, whatever you have collected over and above. So if your turnover is 21 lakhs, it was compulsory that you had to take a GST number.
But this is even professionals who are earning more than 20 lakhs?
Yes, everybody. And if you are doing a business of trading of goods, then it is 40 lakhs turnover. But if I am giving you any professional services and I am earning more than 20 lakhs, I have to compulsorily take GST registration.
But having said that, you take GST registration, but you're not necessarily included in the you don't pay GST,
No,
right?
I have to pay. Whatever sales, once I have taken my GST number, even a 1 rupee sale, I have to pay 18% GST to the government. So a lot of time in the flow of work, people miss out to take GST registration. And when they try to file the return, that is the time they realize that they have missed.
Let me take a hypothetical situation. If you're a lawyer, and if you are, if you've got your own firm, or if you're providing your services, and you're earning more than 20 lakhs, you have to take a GST number. You're taxed at 18%.
Yes. And if you're providing services to business, it will go in B2B. So you have to collect that 18% from the customer and pay it to the government. That's what indirect taxes are there. But lot of these content creators are missing out on this. They are collecting money, TDS is getting deducted, but they are not taking GST registration. And eventually what will happen, even if I have a turnover of 22 lakhs, government will tell you to pay 18% on this 22 lakhs.
Okay.
Which will amount to 4-5 lakhs, plus whatever delay has happened, 3-4 years, interest, penalty, it will come out to a very big amount.
So, but is this the only tax incidence that they have, the GST, or is there beyond that also income tax?
So, income tax is there. Whatever your sales is there, expenses are there, you have to file it under business income. You have to prepare your books of accounts properly and file your returns.
And you can claim 50%.
50% also, and even if it's a business, you have a staff, you have other people, you can claim it at presumptive income.
No, here I'm talking about professionals primarily.
Yes.
You can say presumptive tax, you can say 50% expenses, and you pay tax on that basis. But this is after you've paid your GST.
After I have paid my GST.
Wow, okay, I did not know that. Now I do. All right, a couple more questions. Can I claim medical expenses of dependent parents if they don't have insurance?
Yes, so you can claim medical expenses if they are senior citizen up to 50,000 rupees, and if they are not senior citizen, then 25,000 rupees you can claim. And if you have not taken a medical insurance policy, so if they should not have a medical insurance policy and you are claiming this medical expenses, you can definitely claim it under section 80D.
80D?
Yes.
Even without an insurance policy?
Even without an insurance.
Okay, but that is only available in the old tax regime, therefore?
Yes, only in the old tax regime, not in the new.
Right, because you have no
exemptions.
No exemptions and deductions. Actually, you have a couple of deductions, right?
Few of them, 1-2.
Yeah. Is the gain from selling gifted gold or jewelry or shares taxable, and how?
Yes. So what will happen is, in case my parents have gifted me some gold, I will have to go back to the actual cost of acquisition of my parents and the actual date of acquisition, and I have to pay the tax on the remaining amount. So if probably my dad would have bought a gold at 10,000 rupees, I'm today selling at 1 lakh rupees. So I have to pay the difference, 90,000 bucks, as tax. I can definitely claim indexation benefit and pay 20% on that.
But what if you don't know? What if this is a transfer that took place 20 years back, and unfortunately, this is a hypothetical scenario, the person that gifted you this asset is no more, and you cannot determine the value of the
So you can take a date of 1st Jan 2001 and you can use the indexation benefit.
That is the start of the indexation.
Yes,
right.
2001 se leke, you can calculate till date and pay the taxes.
Understood. Okay. And just so we're clear, for gold jewelry, you can still claim indexation benefits, right?
And you have to pay 20% tax after considering the indexation.
Okay. And equity, of course, your long-term capital gains kicked in when? In
2018.
Arun Jaitley's budget, right? 2018. And so therefore, it's only applicable grandfathered after that, right? Okay. So the last question, I believe this is, can capital losses be carried forward if I missed filing ITR last year?
No, if you miss out your ITR filing any time, your previous year's capital losses you cannot carry forward. But one very good thing is coming in the new budget, that even if you file your tax returns on later date, you will be able to.
No, in the new budget, in the new
tax act. Yes.
New income tax act.
Yes.
And it has already come in. It has to be gazetted.
Yes.
That's all we're waiting for.
So in that case, now you will be able to carry forward it once the new act comes. But in previous act, there is no provision to carry forward.
One more thing has occurred to me, and that has to do with cryptocurrency. I think a lot of people have cryptocurrency, and good for them because of what we've seen over the last few months, right? But if you are selling cryptocurrency, it's taxed at 30%, right?
Yes.
How do you account for that? How do you declare that in your ITR?
So two things are happening in crypto. Mostly, a lot of people are not showing them as their income. So whatever sale they have not shown it in their capital gains. One is, a lot of them are getting notices for all the crypto transactions which they are happening. Now, second thing is that you have to pay 30% flat tax rate on whatever profit you have made on your crypto, provided you will not get any expenses. If you are mining, there is any brokerage, commission, XYZ, no expenses can be claimed in case of cryptos or this virtual currencies. And you have to pay a flat 30% tax on whatever the difference is.
Isn't there also
there.
TCS?
There
tax collected at source.
There is a TDS of 1% on whatever sale proceeds are there. So nowadays, this WazirX or other apps which are there, they are deducting 1% TDS on the flat sale. So if there is a crypto sale of 50 lakhs, he will deduct 50,000
I thought it was the buyer that was responsible for collecting 1% of the total transaction value.
No, mostly what is happening is these platforms are now deducting because they are becoming the middleman. They are buying and they are selling. So in the middle, they are deducting that 1% and paying it in their PAN
And
card.
you have a different ITR form for crypto?
No, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we've answered quite a few questions as we normally do. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
If you still have more questions on how to fill your ITR or income tax return form, let us know in the comment section and we'll take it up in future episodes. Thanks so much for watching. This is NDTV Profit.